Alright, so welcome back to another Resident Evil video. It's been some time since we talked about a Resident Evil game or topic in general. Like I said before, I made the shift back to kind of doing more of what I wanted to do over kind of overall, like not just Resident Evil focused. I did say that Resident Evil was still going to be a priority, and as soon as anything new came out, or anything interesting in terms of news came out, I would publish a video about it almost immediately. And here it is, here's the big news that's been going around the internet over the past day or two. So, as you all know, Resident Evil 3 got remade a couple of years ago now, and it received a mixed reception. Obviously, there was people who had never played it before that really enjoyed it, and there was people, who've played the original and went, okay, where's half the game gone? Like, there's a lot missing from the original RE3, and on top of that, there's things that are completely different in terms of locations, and where you go and what you do is different. So it doesn't really feel like a remake to the people who played the original. So the people who played it, this is the first time they've played it, this is the first time they've experienced Resident Evil 3. It was praised, it was really good, it's pretty short, but it's really good. But that could, could change very, very soon. So apparently, this is the leak, the rumour, which I'm going to throw out there right now. I don't personally believe this is true, and we'll get to that in a minute. But apparently, at Tokyo Game Show 2021, which I believe is right at the beginning of October, Capcom are going to announce a director's cut version of Resident Evil 3, and it goes by the name the Nemesis Edition. Now, we've seen these director's cut things start to be more prominent in the game industry, especially with Ghost of Tsushima, which you got its director's cut on PS5, as well as the upcoming Death Stranding director's cut, which adds and changes things to the game. And this looks like, if it's real, it's going to follow that same kind of pattern and add more to the game. In terms of what it adds, this is a big list of things that are apparently in this leak, and I'll go through them all now as best I can. New areas, police station, obviously police station's in the game, but in the original you play as Jill. The clock tower area, which was completely cut. You can see the clock tower in the current version of the game in the second stage Nemesis fight, I believe. It's like in the background, but you can't go to it. But with these areas coming back, they'll be kind of short and different from the original still, but still there. New cutscenes are being added to the game to kind of fill the gap, I guess, between those areas. New enemy types, it says new enemy types, that's literally all it says, just new enemy types. The older areas, as in the current areas in the 3 remake, will be bigger, more open, and like connected. Like if you think of Resident Evil 2 remake, how you can go all the way from the tram before you go to the lab, all the way back to the start. That's how it's going to kind of play out, because obviously in this, I think after you're done with the huge portion of the kind of Raccoon City area, you can't go back. So they're going to try and make it so you can kind of go back to these places later on if you want to, it seems. On top of that, apparently there's a big revamp coming to Resident Evil Resistance, which is the multiplayer that came in this game. It just says new features and game modes. Minor graphical updates for next-gen consoles, ray tracing, that kind of thing. I'd imagine the FPS would go up as well. Updated story with references to Village in the 4 remake. That is weird. If you've played Village, you'll know that it doesn't really have a connection to 3 at all. Obviously Village, throughout the events of the story, you find out that it is kind of very important to the overarching story of the series, but with like the origins of everything. But in terms of Resident Evil 3, there isn't really a correlation in the least bit at all. The part about the Resident Evil 4 remake, again, this could just be what they did with the Resident Evil 2 remake before they released the 3 remake, which was put a note in the gun shop from Jill, as well as having Nemesis in the demo, just doing his whole one-liner in the distance somewhere. There's still more coming. Reworked Nemesis, it says. He'll use his flamethrower and rocket launcher outside of the boss fights. Will follow you into most safe rooms, but will be a slower enemy overall. A lot of people did complain about Nemesis in the current 3 remake, about him being not really as present as he was in the original. Like, it's kind of a pushover. He's in like 2 areas where he chases you and then he's kind of gone. So even if this is real, that would be a good addition, because he's kind of like the main deal of the game, and having him be in it so little is just kind of a bit of a disappointment there. And then some last little notes here. It says there's new weapons coming. Don't really know anything specific outside of that. Discount, upgrade the current owners of the game. Obviously, you know, companies have been doing this where a next gen edition of a game comes out and you have to either pay like a $10 to $20 upgrade or you get it for free. This one says discounted, so that looks like that's going to be the case. And that's basically it. It is a lot in terms of, you know, actually adding to the current 3 remake, but I don't know. It sounds like a big wish list, you know? It sounds like someone went, I'm going to make a fake ad for the game with everything I want and everything everyone else wants in it. And see what happens. And it took off online. Now this could be real. There are things in here that do point to it not being. For example, I'll leave the original tweet with this information on in the description, but there is a piece of artwork for this edition where it's kind of the title, the Nemesis edition, underneath with Nemesis and Jill back to back. I know because I found this last night. The Jill artwork on the image is a fan-made render of Jill's character model from the 3 remake. So that is just kind of a big hint in the fact that it's either a placeholder image and there isn't actually official images. So someone has made this and put it on there, or the whole thing is completely fake. Like, that's always a potential. Me personally, I'm going to go into my kind of personal thoughts about it now. If it's real, great, very cool. Definitely would play it, 100% would be an improvement. But I just don't think it is. On top of the fact that this just feels like a massive wish list to people. The game came out a while ago now. The Resident Evil 3 remake. Capcom said, you know, our launch of the 3 remake and a little bit after launch, that is the complete product, so there isn't any more DLC coming out like that. There is a potential that they've seen in the success of these director's cut games that are coming out and gone, okay, we could do that with 3 remake and try and get some money off of that idea and give people what they want. Completely understand that, but with Village out now, I'd imagine that focus is on DLC for that game, which is confirmed. The 4 remake, which is, again, all but confirmed. Resident Evil Outrage, which still hasn't been announced yet, which is supposedly coming out at the end of the year, beginning of next year. And then, of course, Resident Evil 9, which is obviously, you know, in early development, but it's still a thing that's being worked on. I feel like that's it. Like, I don't think there's anything to do with the 3 remake coming out. Again, would be super cool if it was. I really enjoyed the 3 remake. I played it quite a bit, but you can definitely tell when you're playing it that there is a lot missing, and it's quite obvious in terms of length and kind of how the story progresses. So yeah, having a different kind of version of the game, or the correct version of the game, would be quite beneficial, and definitely get the game in more high regards from fans, I would say. But nevertheless, that is going to do it. Obviously, I've kind of shared everything we know of this quote-unquote leak. Again, I personally don't think it's a thing at all. It just feels very wishlisty, very, very specific, and I don't know, that's a lot of information for a brief leak that's appeared over the past couple of days. But I could be wrong. Maybe when Tokyo Game Show starts, because I know Capcom are there, because they've actually said they're there. So if it ends up being the case, I can eat my own words and enjoy them myself, because I would definitely love to play, you know, more of the Resident Evil 3 remake. But until we know anything for 100% fact, then you have to take this with a huge pinch of salt, because it's a lot if that is true, which is a very good move from them, again, if it's true. But anyway, leave your thoughts in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you think of this leak. I'll again leave the information in a link in the description so you can read it for yourselves and, you know, check it out. It's just like 1 image long, but there's quite a lot of words on there. I've kind of briefly gone through everything that's important. So yeah, check it out for yourselves. Let me know what you think. And again, yeah, like I've said, Resident Evil content is still coming, as you can probably tell. This video is out. But again, it's a case when things come out that are new, things that come out like this that are interesting, and, you know, just new stuff, because I've done a lot of Resident Evil content in the past, 3 months. I've gone hard on it. So I'm a little bit burnt out of, playing the games over and over and over again. So when anything new comes out, any information, any new trailers or DLC or whatever, I'll be on it immediately. But for now, this is it. So thank you for watching. If you are interested in Resident Evil content, be sure to subscribe anyway, because I will post it as and when it's needed. I'll catch you all tomorrow for another video.